Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, and good morning, and welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, and I'm one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, along with my two sisters, Trish Carr and Susan Winner. And just so you know, this is clearly a sisterhood of extraordinary impact focused women who are here to make that positive difference that we can all bring to the table. So that is our sisterhood. And when I talk about the co-founders, myself and my sister, Trish Carr and Susan Winner, we are actually sisters, grew up in the same house in Brooklyn, New York. And we are very grateful and honored to be with you in this community and to be with you today, bringing you a midweek boost of motivation, education, and inspiration. Today, we're going to be talking with Madeleine Sklar, who's one of the members in our community, and we're going to be talking about the fast path to breakthroughs. So, sometimes when you're going through a breakthrough, it can feel really painful and yucky, and sometimes that's what it takes. But wouldn't you like the fast path to locate where the breakthrough needs to be and get through the breakthrough? So that's what we're going to be talking about with Madeleine today. Before I do that, I want to share a couple of Women's Prosperity Network announcements. So if you can, grab a piece of paper or, go to the website and you'll see everything that I'm about to share with you. First of all, I want to presence you and invite you to join us on December 8th and 9th, a Friday and a Saturday, for our 2-day legendary Level Up workshop. We've been doing this event for close to 10 years now, and it's all about consistently leveling up yourself, your business, and even your visions to take them to the next level. And we do this in December as we're all heading into the next year. So be sure to check out at womensprosperityNetwork.com. Go to the events tab and you'll see how you can join us for the Level Up. We've also got 2 more events happening this month. One is our Networking with a Twist, which happens next Tuesday, November 15th. And then on Thanksgiving weekend, on the Saturday, we're going to be doing our mastermind called Brilliance, Brainstorming, and Breakthroughs. So check everything out and do join us. We are here to provide that continuing community of support so that your dreams, your visions, and your impact happens the way you would love it to. So without any more delay, I want to introduce you to Madeleine Sklar. She is an interdisciplinary expert. And let me tell you what I mean by that. She has, there's a lot. This woman brings so much to the table. She studied anthropology, psychology, sociology with a specific focus on women's issues. She's a best-selling author, a life recreation expert, a priestess, a teacher, a transformational tarot reader, an artist, and has over 60 years of experience in teaching and writing about and offering transformational readings. And we're going to talk with Madeleine today, find out how she got into what she's doing right now, and also sharing some tips and tools to support you. So welcome, Madeleine.
Hi, welcome. Thank you.
I am so glad that you're here. And the question that's burning for me right now is you and I have had several conversations, and the type of tarot reading that you do is very different. It's actually unique to you, and it was you've created this system. Can you share with us a little bit about that pathway that brought you to create your own tarot system?
Well, I was adopted, and the only thing I knew about my roots was that I came from a Jewish mother, and therefore I was Jewish. I knew nothing else beyond that. And when I was 20, I was traveling, and I was staying in San Francisco, and I had a roommate, and she introduced me to the tarot. And in those days, in 1960, there were believe it or not, there were only 2 tarot decks available. That was the Rider-Waite and the Marseille deck. And both those decks mashed together Hebrew letters, which, by the way, are numbers as well as letters, an Arabic number system, which has the number 0 in it and goes sequentially. It's the system of numbers that we all use today, because for science and other things, it's very useful. Whereas the Hebrew numeric system goes first to 10, and then then it goes by tens to 100, and then on. So it's a very different number system, more like the Roman numeral system. And there is no 0 in the Hebrew alphabet because everything is contained within the 1. And just like the book behind you,
Yes.
there is nothing. There is only the nothing within the oneness. And so I got curious about these letters, and I started delving into the meaning of the letters, because they were a connection to where I'd come from, and the other things were separate. And also I got curious about, it led me into reading things about Kabbalah and other earlier writings that were less patriarchal, because as the Torah and Bible became more and more Western culturized and less of a primary culture influence, it became more and more patriarchal.
And I would imagine here at Women's Prosperity Network, most of the women get that. It's one of the reasons we're here. Right?
I mean, it isn't like we want to throw out everything male, but it's the balance got off. And so I started reading a lot about them. And what I learned is that the Hebrew letters are actually, not only are they numbers, but unlike if you look at Egyptian, hieroglyphs, they show like a hole in a wall, and that's a window. And they go, oh, well, that's a window. Whereas the letter Hey, which represents a wind door, and I have a picture of that in my book, because I also created the cards based on the appearance of the Hebrew letters and the meaning of them.
So wait, what book is this that you're pulling from right now?
This book is the book that I ended up writing, the first book I got published here, which is Our Ancient Mother's Alphabet, a new Kabbalistic approach to the Hebrew alphabet and the Tarot. And what this symbol actually represents, and you can kind of see it a little bit in the picture I created, is a wind door. And it's because people who were living in deserts, they didn't need to have, glass. They didn't have glass windows anyway, but they'd put holes in the sides of their houses so that the wind could pass through. But because it's an ideogram, not a literal window or wind door, we are wind doors, because as we breathe, we are taking in the air, the breath of life is flowing into us and then out through us. And so we are actually wind doors for the holy breath that we all share.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, when you first got introduced to Tarot, based upon what you knew about yourself, and I love that you said, I got curious. And and here's just a little clue for everyone as we're talking about the topic of breakthroughs. Feeling curious and following that is oftentimes the path to that breakthrough. So notice, she could have gotten curious and said, oh, I'm too busy. And instead, she had that spark of curiosity, followed it, created her own tarot deck, wrote a book, has had 60 years of working with people and providing readings and really helping people transform to move beyond whatever challenge they might be experiencing or small block. So step number 1 on your fast path to breakthrough is to follow the example that Madeleine just gave us. When you get curious, ask questions, get curious.
Yeah, and Edith Egar said that when she was in this, she's a brilliant psychiatrist and woman, an amazing woman. She said when she was in the concentration camp and literally dying, what kept her alive was curiosity. And a sense that she wondered what would come next, and also the belief that something
better
could come
Yeah.
next. And so I feel like curiosity and hope are the things that are
powerful
for us.
So we got 2 golden nuggets already today on get the fast path to a breakthrough. The first is to be curious, and in that curiosity, be curious with hope for something better. Because I think one of the obstacles that we face as human beings, and I've been through this myself, and I've seen clients go through this, is when a challenge arises and you're in the midst of some type of breakdown, it can feel hopeless, or you doubt yourself and wonder, should I be doing this? Should I try to do this? Oh, I guess I should give up. But that's not where breakthrough resides, right?
And there's a third thing with breakthroughs, and that is always, which she talks about a lot in her book, that I think is amazing. It's called The Gift. And she has another one called The Choice. And
who's the author?
Edith Egar. E-G-A-R, I believe. I'm not a great speller, so
you don't have to
make sure. But what it is that one thing I learned really ages ago, when I was 28 and my life fell apart, one day I was like busy feeling, I was, pulling tarot cards every day to see how I could sort of get myself out of bed, to give me a framework to think about the next step in my day. And I had this, one day I woke up and I had this voice in my head, and it said, hey, you're alone. You may be alone for the rest of your life. You don't have a choice to find someone to bring into your life to fix you or to love you. Maybe nobody will love you. I mean, it's beautiful. I was 28, but that was my feeling, was maybe nobody will love me. And I was very desperate feeling and filled with longing. And the voice said, you have only 2 choices. You have the choice to be happy alone or unhappy alone. So how are you going to spend your life?
Wow.
And I just went, wow, I think I can be happy alone because I like that better. And I kind of suddenly, it was like being hit with a truth bomb. And I realized that the happiness was something I had to generate from within myself, and that it wasn't something that I could bring in from somebody else or from somewhere else. And I mean, even today, if I'm in a fight with my husband, if I'm feeling miserable, I can sit there and I go, okay, do I want to feel this way? Or is there another way I'd rather feel? And and that awareness of that, no matter what the circumstances are, there's always somehow a choice of how we choose to respond to it, even if we can't change our circumstance. And it was a big life lesson for me. And of course, once my cup of longing was empty, the man I've been with for 52 years wandered in, I mean, it was
right.
No-brainer.
So much to unpack there. First of all, let's get those 3 keys to a fast path to breakthrough. Get curious, have hope, and be aware of the choice you have on how you want to feel, like how do you want to experience whatever it is that you're going through. And in that, if you had made the choice, I can choose to be happy alone or I can choose to be unhappy alone. If your choice was, I'm going to be unhappy alone, more likely than not, that guy wouldn't have been attracted to you.
No.
Right? Oh, who wakes up and says, I'm looking for a really miserable person to partner with?
Or I'm looking, and before that, the feeling of longing, I
Yeah,
want someone.
that
It
neediness. Yeah.
doesn't bring anyone in because your cup is full of longing. You have to empty the longing out of your cup for anything to come into it.
So good. All right, great stuff. All right, my question for you is: you're known as the coach's ally. So I know that you work one-on-one with people, but you also serve as an ally and a support for people, coaches like myself working with business owners or market, whatever it is. There's lots of different types of coaches. Can you tell us a little bit about how you serve in that aspect of your business?
Well, what I want to clarify, sort of to go back to the readings that I do,
Sure.
is that I don't read predictively. I feel like to people who are going to tell your fortune are lying, because only the Holy One or Spirit or God or Jesus, Muhammad, whoever you turn to, whatever beingness you want to turn to, only that creator of all knows really what our fortunes are. And so that's kind of messing with things. Even if you're really intuitive and get psychic insights, because I've had those into what is going to happen to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You could be wrong, so don't go there.
I want to say thank you for 1 second to come back to that. And when you said that predictive piece is messing with things, right?
Yeah.
And that's a resistance I used to have in the past around getting readings, because I feel like it's not my job to mess with the divine plan. It's my job to follow the inspiration and look for the signs that lead me in a direction. And if I got a reading from someone that said, this is going to happen to you, it's changing the flow somehow, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, even if it isn't changing the flow, because maybe you're changing the flow and maybe you're not, what you're doing is you're setting something in someone's mind that alters. First of all, you're taking away their authority. And I believe that everyone should. I don't trust authorities. It was very hard. My first version of this book, I'd written, and I had all of these quotes and disclaimers in it because I had such a resistance to being an authority, until I had an editor who said, hey, there are teacher authorities and healer authorities, and it's the kind of authority, you have the authority of your own knowledge, your own experience. It doesn't mean you have to be an authority over anyone else. And then I went, okay, good. So then I took out all the disclaimers, and the book got a lot better. But anyway, what was I going to say?
The type of readings that you do.
So what I look at is, it's a 7-card reading, and it's based on really, I lay the cards out with one card that represents the past as it is affecting you or the person in this moment. There's also who you are in this moment, because we change moment to moment. So the card that represents who you are is the center of this. Above it, I put a card that represents the circumstances that you're in that are affecting you right now. Like one woman was very influenced and was kind of not fully admitting to herself that what was influencing her, that she'd actually absorbed. She had a father who had Parkinson's, and she was kind of taking who he was into herself in a way that wasn't good for her, but she wasn't even aware of it when I started doing the reading. And then I saw that, yes, that was what she was bringing in from the past. That was kind of haunting even underneath her own knowledge in her present. And that was her present environment. And as those showed up that way. And then I pull near, future, further, and an outcome card, but it isn't like really, it's like a flow of energies that potentially you're going to run into, because we run into different energies as we travel through our life path. And so this reading isn't for your entire life. It's for this period of your life that you are in. And as soon as I bring something to consciousness, as soon as I said this to her, it became part of her consciousness. And so then things even then begin to shift and break open, because they go, oh yeah, there is wow, I didn't see that.
That's the first step, right? If we look at the 12 steps, right?
It's just know what is
Awareness.
driving you. And then the last card, which is the 7th card, I call it a Shabbat reading because it's on all, pretty much all the religions suggest that after 6 days of endeavor, you take a day of rest and that you reflect on where you've been and where you're going and where you are and where you want to be. And so that 7th card is like if you're wearing blue glasses, like sunglasses, everything behind you is going to be tinted blue, and everything in front and your present, everything is going to have this blue tint. And so that 7th card I pull out has to do with the actual lens, psychological lens we're looking through, or the client is looking through. And for a coach to know the psychological coloration that their client may be viewing their past, present, future, everything through is invaluable, because sometimes it can actually empower. You can say, oh, you're looking through this lens that because you really want this, and it's tinting how you're seeing that because this is what you're longing for. And the client will often say, yeah, that is. And some of our longings are unconscious. And so this is where a coach would, if I do the reading on Zoom, and so a coach can get the video of that reading, and so they see their client's reaction as the reading is happening, and they get to hear them, and that helps a lot, because sometimes people will react and then block out, and so it's better for a coach to actually, oh wow, I didn't see how.
You know what this reminds me of, as a coach, I've used a variety of tools to support me in better serving my clients. So whether it's having them take the Myers-Briggs assessment or the DISC or the Colby or one of those, what Madeleine is doing is another tool just like that to help us as coaches be able to have a framework of understanding for our clients so that we can get them results faster. Like, this is a powerful, powerful piece.
Yeah, and it can actually, I did a reading for this big burly guy and his girlfriend. And it was, she was there sort of as the witness, and he came for the reading, and I was went through it, and he just suddenly started to cry, like really cry, and left the room. And I turned to her and I said, did I do something wrong? I'm so sorry. I don't know, what, I didn't mean to hurt him.
Mhm.
And she said, oh no, he really needed that. That's some things he hadn't shared with anyone.
Wow.
Really needed to have that open up for him. And so it would save a coach a lot of time.
For sure, to get to where, we always want to, see our clients fly and succeed. And I know that I'm like, I gave them the suggestion to do this, this, and this, but they just didn't do it, or maybe they didn't hear me. And then there's a digging process and you have to explore it, like how powerful to know at that place and, what's happening for them, this lens they're seeing life through. It helps me serve my clients better. I love it.
Yeah.
And we're coming up to the halfway point, my dear. Time sure flies, doesn't it? Let's do this, and then we're going to open up for questions. So I've put Madeleine's contact information on Zoom, in the chat on Facebook, and comments. We're going to open up for questions in just a few minutes. And for those of you that are here on the telephone, I'm going to give you Madeleine's phone number and email, and you can reach out to her directly. So her phone number is 541-204-0930. And the email is Madeline@grandmothershealingwisdom.com. I wish you were my grandmother, but we're too close in age for that. But anyway, I wish I had a grandmother like you. I'll say that. So Madeleine, which is spelled Madeleine, like the cookie, right? Like the pastry.
Yep.
Madeleine at grandmothershealingwisdom.com, or you can call or text her at 541-204-0930. And we do have a couple of questions in the chat that I'll read in a moment. What I'd like you to explain while everybody's queuing up for their questions. So I know you work with individuals, and you also, serve as the coach's ally. Can you let our audience know a little bit about how those two things work?
Well, when I work with an individual, I had also written this book, which is an itty bitty book.
Oh, yes.
Which is how
it's
to
called your itty bitty recreate your life book, 15 key steps to bring more joy, connection, and soul purpose into your life and relationships. Yummy.
So I wrote that as well. And it was actually based on, in a sense, on the 4 goddesses, the 4 main letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the infinite goddess, because when the alphabet was created, they thought of it as coming from 4 mothers. All creation was the infinite mother, which was the 1, the 40, which was the mother of all material creation and life, and the Shin, which is the number 300, which is the mother of transformation. And they believe that those 3 mothers actually created Mother Earth. So the energy of the infinite, the material, and the ability, and the transformative energy is what they saw as created the earth. And
Awesome.
So my book, the Itty Bitty Recreate Your Life book, I take clients through, working through from the body up, which is, your relationship to your body, your relationship to your emotions, which your energy and motion, and your relationship to spirit,
Yep.
and to your thinking. Actually, first to your thinking, and then how your mind influences everything, and then your spirit. And so that's kind of how I coach, but
Mhm.
I realized that I love to do the readings and turn them over to coaches, because the coach can then have something where they can go, their job, a coach's job, I see is a lot is just keeping people accountable, keeping
Mhm.
them moving in the direction that the coach sees that they can go in order to really expand and become fully alive.
So
And
with the
so that's what I do.
coaches, so I know when you work with coaches, if you're a coach here and you're interested on having Madeleine as your ally, simply reach out to her by phone or text, and she has packages available where you get, you can serve all your clients and get a bundle of them. A question in the chat. What about a personal reading for someone who's not a coach? What are you going to do for our WPN family today? She didn't know I was going to ask her to do something special, but I am.
Well, I do offer personal readings. For coaches, it's a discount. It's $197. However, I will be offering an insane special for $27 for what is it for that Friday?
For Black Friday.
Black Friday special for
Okay.
$27 for a coach. So they can see what I do.
And
But
what if I just want a reading? If I want a reading with you for myself, do you
it's
still do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I love to read for coaches, and because then they get a chance, and usually I would be charging $250 for a reading, but for coaches I do offer a discount because I want to connect with them and work with them.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
and
important for them to see what I do, to know that.
if I'm not a coach, it's still $197 for a reading.
No, if you're not a coach, it's $250.
And what if I'm a WPN member?
That's the only coaches I know, so that's $197.
There we go. There we go. So reach out to Madeleine.
Actually, I do know other coaches, but
Yeah.
it's for coaches.
I love it. Well, reach out to Madeleine. You can email her, Madeline@grandmothershealingwisdom.com, or give her a call at 541-204-0930. And now's the time if you have a question or a comment or an insight that you'd like to share. We're going to go ahead and open up. If you're on your phone, simply hit *6. If you're on your computer, you can go ahead and just raise your hand and you should be unmuted. So let me start with
I have a special just for people who are on this call.
Ooh.
Whether you're a coach or not, I would do a special for $147.
What? That just got even better.
So
Because you're here listening in, whether or not you want to coach, if you want a reading with Madeleine, which I highly suggest, like the way she described the 7-card layout, I love that it's really about presencing us right now. Who am I being? What am I bringing to the table? What's the crap I got? What's the lens I'm looking forward through? So, oh my gosh, $147. Grab yours, send her an email or call her. Thank you. That was so generous. Awesome.
Well, it just came to me because I saw a little pop-up saying, what if you're not a coach? And I thought, okay, if you're part of this little Wow Wednesday, it's a
so let's go ahead. Laura Barker, why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself?
Madeleine, good morning. I have known you for some time now as a tarot card reader. I want to say that you have been doing yourself a giant misservice, because what I learned today is about the 7-card reading that you do. This is not what people think of when they hear tarot card reading. I just really want you to rebrand yourself, because I want a reading now, and I never in my life would have even thought I would want a tarot card reading. based
Wow.
on what I thought it was. So when you're talking, whether you are, offering your services to, coaches, which I understand is a big push, but look, there are a ton of individuals, as you can see from the chat. Everybody here is interested in an individual reading because it's so much more than what any of us thought. So I
Yes.
just had to say that because it's like an eye opener for me. I have tried to figure out like what makes you special. I knew you were, I just couldn't describe it. But now that you've done it for us, thank you. And let's get you rebranded right away, sister.
Oh, well, and I'm open to that because
That's
I
great.
have a hard time falling in, but tarot sort of fitted the closest thing because that's
Good.
what I came out
So
of. But it isn't really.
here's Laura, thank you for pointing that out. And I'm going to recommend that Madeleine, you use this video recording to create some clips to share on your website because you explained who you are, why you do so beautifully.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, well done. So Laura, I guess you're going to sign up for a reading with Madeleine. Oh, she went on mute. Are you still there, Laura Barker?
I am sorry.
That's okay.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Madeleine. I definitely want to sign up, but I also wanted to ask, any chance that individuals might be able to get in on your Black Friday special coming up?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
well, the Black Friday special is for coaches,
Okay, gotcha.
particularly.
Didn't understand. Perfect.
Yeah, got it.
Thank you. That's
All
awesome.
right,
And yes,
good question. You got to ask.
Oh, yeah.
it's definitely sign it up. Look, I know from what you did, 147 is a steal. So appreciate that discount you're offering us today, and just appreciate you, Madeleine.
Oh, thank you, Laura.
Beautiful, beautiful. And again, remember to email Madeleine, which is MADLE.
No, MADELE.
Okay, you better spell it. It's your name.
MAD. Just think, Madeleine Cookie,
I don't know how to spell that either, though. So
but it's MADELEINE. So it
Very
has
good.
3 E's. And Sklar, by the way, doesn't have a Y in the middle of it, which people kind of like to do also.
Yeah, funny. All right. If you have a question or comment, want to share anything, please go ahead and hit *6. If you're on your phone, raise your hand. If you're on the computer, we've got a couple more minutes if you want to share something or ask a question. And again, you can email Madeleine at grandmothershealingwisdom.com. So go ahead and grab that now. I'm going to ask a question that came to me earlier when you were sharing, and it has to do with these, how long do these readings take? And can you do them on Zoom? Because that's what, like, I don't know if I have to pull my own cards, or how do you do that?
Well, what I do is I do them on Zoom. Because I actually believe it's very helpful for people to create cards based on their own life. And I have a couple of workshops I want to do with that.
Hey, what do you mean create cards? What do you mean create cards?
Well, each card, like this one that I just pulled up,
Yeah,
is the letter Tzadi, and it's based on an ideogram, which has to do with a fish hook. And it's the symbol of a fish hook, but what it's really about is when you can only catch fish with your hands, you can only feed your family. If you have a fish hook, you can feed your community. If you can. And so it's about knowing your gifts and the desire to share your gifts with your community. That's what that ideogram is talking about. So if you're trying to look at what gifts you have and what sharing your gifts and how you've done that over the course of a week, when you're creating a card or two, or over the course of your day, then it is informing a deeper relationship with that card, with that letter, with the meaning of that ideogram. And so what happened, of course, is people say, well, where's the cards to go with your book? Well, when I do readings, this is what I use. I don't know if you could see this.
I just see paper.
Yeah, it's early versions of my book that I
Right.
passed out to get endorsements that I then cut up and made cards of, because like this is a card from my book.
Let me see another one, please.
Another card?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a card, another card from my book.
Wow. And these are all original designs?
Yeah, these are my artwork.
Wow.
And this is the letter Het, and it represents a fence around a field. And you think, well, what is that about? And if you think about it, if you put a fence around a field, if you put a fence around anything, it's your property, right? That's how we define, this is my property.
Right.
And so, but it really relates to what you claim as yours. So when people get married in the Jewish religion,
oh yeah, the
they get
chuppah.
married under a chuppah, which begins with that letter. Because
Wow.
they're saying, whatever you claim is yours, even a personal quality like I'm a good person, well, that becomes your responsibility to fulfill. So if you claim another person as your person, your beloved, you have a responsibility for them and to care for the relationship and to care for them. So
there is so much more here than I ever considered. This is beautiful. Let's go ahead and open up. Aurelia, your line is open. We'd love to hear from you. And then Barbara, you had your hand up and then it went down. So put it back up again and I'll have you ask the question.
Well, grand and glorious rising to everyone listening. And I want to say that over the past couple of months, I've really grown to love and appreciate Madeleine. We're also watching the Turkish series together, so that has a special place in my heart. But aside from that, the wisdom that she has and all of the knowledge and the different points of view that she shares in her tarot readings just contribute if we're open to receive. And I will tell you that when we lower those barriers and just allow everything to come in, then we get to pick and choose what works and what doesn't. And I had a reading with her maybe about a month ago or so, and I got a lot out of it, and it contributed to me at the time. And then you just go on to the next thing and the next thing, and maybe go back and get another reading. I do plan on getting your special, but everything is a contribution to us if we allow it. And if we stay open, don't judge, and are just in allowance. This is just the way that the divine speaks to us. And as you know, since Monday, I had a divine revelation about the divine, and she slapped my ass into place. Oops, did I say that? Yes, I did.
You're so cute.
Because, it really isn't us, the little us, the ego that wants to control and manipulate and be in charge of. We are control as a general theme, and we allow the divine to come through us and show us the way. So I'm grateful for the ladies that are now open to receive this. Let's see what else can be created and what we can get from this. And I'm grateful, of course, for the work that Madeleine does. And she goes really deep into the mysticism of the Kabbalah and the Jewish religion, which has its value, just like every religion and every practice, everything comes together for our good if we are just open to receive. So that's my 25 cents worth. With inflation, everything has gone up.
And your value has continued to rise as well, Aurelia. Just want you to know.
And at the root, the deepest part of all the religions is the same.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. The message is the same. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, Madeleine.
So good. Thank you, Aurelia. That was beautifully said. All
Thank
right,
you.
let's
Yeah.
let's go to Barbara. And again, if you have a question or something you want to ask or contribute to the conversation, go ahead and hit *6 on your phone or raise your hand if you're on your computer. Barbara.
Okay. Hi, Madeleine. So
Hi.
I knew you did tarot. I've never been a fan of tarot, but like Laura, your explanation truly changed my view of tarot readings. However, I'm not a coach, so I'm a little disappointed that you only do your offerings to coaches. I do have clients, but I don't know that it's the same relationship as a coach has with
Probably
theirs.
not. Probably not.
Well,
No.
what I would say is for members of WPN, period, it's all the same. I assume you all are coaches in your own way, whatever you're doing. So it's a WPN special too, period.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I really do thank you for that. But I wanted to tell you, you truly opened my eyes about this stuff, and I wanted to thank you. I came here to learn one thing. I did learn that, but then I learned also something else, and it's been a great Wow Wednesday. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Beautiful. Thank you, Barbara. So glad that you're shared that. And also, Bonita from Facebook wants me to ask this. Do you have a secret to looking younger than your years?
Hair dye.
Hair dye, absolutely. I know, no grays, no sparkles showing around here today. Okay.
But beyond that, I think some of it is, and it's that every morning I do prayers that are gratitude prayers and I do, and the end of the prayers are, beauty above me, beauty below me, beauty around me, beauty within me. And I try to look around and see how just beautiful being alive is somehow. And I try to picture even looking at things that I ordinarily, with ordinary eyes, would see as kind of ugly, or, my messed up deck that has holes in it, and, all these things, as a 2-year-old would, where they're so curious and everything is beautiful.
Love it.
Where you're not judging, oh, that dog poo is icky. You're just going, wow, what is that on the sidewalk?
We come back to curiosity creates youthfulness.
Yes.
Curiosity creates youthfulness. So I think curiosity is one of the biggest gifts that you've given us today, is to remember to tap into that. Awesome.
And also for Bonita, humor.
Ah, yes.
Humor. I see a lot of things that I amuse myself. I'm a bad joke teller, but I laugh at my jokes as I'm telling them, and it makes other people laugh.
Me too. I'm like that. What's funny about me telling jokes is how poorly I tell them.
So,
All right. Well, Madeleine, thank you so much for joining us today and filling our cups with your wisdom, with your curiosity, and with your laughter. Be sure, again, to email Madeleine, Madeline, at grandmothershealingwisdom.com and book yourself for a reading or explore how you can bring her to your business to be your ally in serving your clients even better. So thank you, Madeleine. Thank you. Now, are you going to go back to bed, or you're up for the day?
No, I'm awake.
All right, good. You're high five. All right, everyone. Thank you, Madeleine. Thank you all for being here. Get out there. Make today a wow, wonderful day. Remember, we don't believe in hump day. I'm just waiting for the weekend. No! Every day is the opportunity to experience some wow in your life. So you go have some wow and then share it with someone you care about, or maybe even a stranger. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Madeleine.
Bye. Thank you all for being just seeing me, for being here.
Awesome. All right. Bye, everyone.